Everybody say, say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things, Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Eunice. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Eunice. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Oh, uya matinyana. Yeah, so uya. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Yeah. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Say, I call you Jireh, say. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Eunice. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are my everything. Yeah. Are you ready, everybody? All right, listen. William Ingram, come here. 1, 2, 3. I can breathe without you, say. I can breathe without you. I can move without you, Lord. I can move without you. Hey, who am I?
Good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your location. Ankra bia etim ya no pe me movie bia akwaba. Ebe ye dwumedie so every Friday bia na yato anamon say ye de adesua efa emra ho e de bro baby biara a wo eni se enen so adom ne nti no ye nya ahoden ne ye sa program yi esan ba. Me gidi se baby biara a wo ho ye na so ho ye bia mesere we ni die mo bomode ana fra adamfo bi fro no ebi fro bi se emre na so se ye ba besua ade ye ba be de ye ho nkomo ye ba be ye bibi e wo mre mu se de be ya ebetumi edi ato anamo ewo ya brabo mu asetena ewo UK krom ha na ene no eye mede yi ene no se ne eye mede se sa topic ene mea mayiyim ne mahwehwem na maselect na masa shortlist na masa yiyim ehu se ene no we na o se ye ka no ntimi sremo bekwa mankrofo bebre yenko ayentumi enchemfa unya ba so a share, like the page, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. Senior Beya Abribia Baswa Ubenya Yehu Atinka na wabe join ye. Mediani manyeti. Ene mreniko ena yense ni mrentino. Menkasa bebre. Ene me resource person. Me am chocho mucho. Me lawyer sister pe kubra baako pɛ ɛnɛ ɔno ɛna me ne ba bɛdi dwuma no na yɛakyerɛkyerɛ mu baabi akwanya nneɛma a ɛdedada hɔ a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ na yɛ a yɛn ho aka wɔ saa mmerɛ bi a atwa mu opportunity bi a ɛbaeɛ a nkurɔfo bebree nyaeɛ no sisi a ɛyɛ sɛ saa opportunity no nnipa anaasɛ mpanimfoɔ no a ɛdedada no ntumi anhwɛ so yie ama bebree ama yɛn ho akeka mu akɔyɛ asɛm bebree, nsɛm bebree nti ɛno ɛbɛdi ho nkɔmmɔ. Na mmom, sɛ oyi ne ho adi na ɔde nkyea a mu ɔhwɛ mu ɔdɛ de brɛ mu a, na afei mabisa no sɛ ayɛm biara sima mmienu pɛ update bi wɔ hɔ a, ɛne sɛ home office deɛ, ade kye ne adeɛ sɛ nyinaa no, na ɔmode nsɛm ɛretwa mu a, ɛne sɛ ɛretwa mu a na ɛretwa mu a na ɛrekɔ. Nti sɛ wonya da na wosɔreeɛ a na wohwiahwia sɛ ɛdɛn biom na home office aka o. Na mmom menim sɛ as for the e-visa ne deɛ, is still on because very soon in school bɛma kwan akɔ long vacation, and I know say 85% of parents love to travel, and especially in kurom no, this is the time a yɛn nso yɛde yɛn mma no nyinaa ɛkɔ yɛn kurom. So woba abɛtu kwan nhyehyɛe bɛn na ɛda hɔ a sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wokɔ no akɔgye w'ani na a woba no afei na worɛrɛ tiri ho ɛsiane sɛ wontumi anyɛ wo visa hard. Join me as we digest into some of these topics now. A war system Nemo, just to educate ourselves and then get insight of what to do when it comes to this situation. And he said, "Good morning, lawyer Eunice. Mesa atunsa fro na me ma mfanchia emeti for na afide say update kakra bi wo ho na etwemu a wo de etudwa e de amaye. Me gye say wo ho ye de.
Nyam nyadom patro me ho yɛ na patro nso ɛ.
Ah, ye kremu se mita no. No shaking, no shaking.
Yɛda ase. I hope
Okay.
your week also was good.
Yes, very busy but very fruitful. So I'm happy.
Aye.
Mm,
Yɛda
mm.
Nyame ase. Ma menhyia yɛtiefoɔ ne ahwɛfoɔ. De yɛda mo nyinaa ase sɛ ɛnnɛ da yi mu abɛka yɛn nsa na yɛtumi edi dwumadie yi. Ɛyɛ ma mo nyinaa good morning. I know say today as the sun is shining no, na mo nso mo ho yɛ deɛ. Sɛ obi wɔ hɔ a ne ho nyɛ a, yɛbɔ mpaeɛ sɛ Nyame nso ɛde ne nsa ɛbɛka no na wayɛ obi a ɔyɛ ehyirafoɔ. Nti, as we do every week, we give a bit of an update as to what is going on. But this is not update per se. Make us say say efutu a yɛma yɛn nkurɔfoɔ because a lot of people have heard of government announcements na ɔmo de baayɛ sɛ ɔmo bɛma yeah, kind of say Secretary of State for the Home Department, no, they will allow her to make some changes to your immigration rules. And most people no have heard the fact say skilled workers now move back room ha now say for more points based system no so no almost person almost shifted settlement period no from 5 years to 10 years. Nti still na nkurɔfo bebree adwene sɛ ɛfa obiara ho ɛnhyɛ da ɛmfa obiara ho saa. They have specifically said sɛ ɛfa nkurɔfoɔ no a wɔwɔ points based system no so. Nti usually those on the skilled worker routes to say health and care workers ne nkurɔfoɔ a let's say wɔde COS aba anaasɛ nkurɔfoɔ a wɔde COS ɛte UK kurom ha. Anakra mpo sɛ obi a ɔwɔ global talent route no so anaasɛ innovator founder route anaa minister of religion. Saa nkurɔfoɔ yi ɛna ɔmo ka sɛ ɔmo bɛshifte saa 5 year period to 10 years. But then they have made should I say an allowance in case say they meet certain requirements then they might be able to apply for settlement after a period of 5 years. And they have gone on to state say they are seeking advice on omo proposals na omo ayeno. Most of these changes, no, obviously the Secretary of State can bring it into force without an act of parliament because the will share your immigration rules now. Most of the immigration rules is derived from maybe an instrument, an answer, statement of changes. Secretary of State no edebeba na weyi ato hɔ say na yapene so say yɛbɛyɛ. And so when it comes to settlement proposals now, they will definitely have to do more consultations in terms of how they will bring these changes about before Omo Debeba. including on nkurɔfoɔ more graduate route no so, because yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ sɛ woba hanom as students a ɛno does not lead to settlement. Nti woba hanom as students na ebi a wo pass wo course na wotumi ɛkɔ graduate route no so a, usually they give you a period of 2 years, but ɔmo aka sɛ because of the fact sɛ dodoɔ naa de ɔmo family ne ɔmo ho kafo ɛba no nti, they will reduce that period from 2 years to 1.5 years for so those postgraduates. But ɔmo ka hwee ɛfa PhD for no, because PhD for no usually ɔmo ma ɔmo 3 years nti sɛ ɔmo graduate na ɔmo kɔ postgraduate route no so a, they will still give them the 3 years that they usually give to them. And when it comes to dodoɔ no a ɛwɔ healthcare visa no so deɛ a, te sɛ sɛ yɛn nkɔmmɔdeɛ no ɛbɛkɔ no a, then most of those people have the idea say, because mbra no asesa sɛ most employers should recruit from within the UK rather than from outside the UK ne nti sɛ kɔba ne sɛ ebia ɔmo asetena no ebia because employer no yɛ revoking a license anaa koraa mpo sɛ ɔno ankasa no ɔmo aka sɛ ɔmbɔ adwuma nti yɛ cancel ne n'asetena no a ɔwɔ no. In that case, most of the time you would have to have made a switch just before I will leave ebe ended. And I said just before I almost cancel will leave no. So when to me and yes our application now, then it means that now I year overstayer. But that
Mhm.
one I know so when their employer's license is revoked now. On one casano, ebi mo on one on sanka any cancellation email from the home office and say name say asetena no is still valid. Of course, you will still have a valid leave if the government hasn't sent you any email to say omo cancel will leave now. So we'll switch it within the 60-day period. I think say it's part of their initiative to make sure that they are securing nkurɔfoɔ which through no fault of theirs no, the employer's license has been revoked, just so that at least sɛ wonim sɛ wo employer no ne license no yɛarevoke deɛ a na woatumi ahwehwɛ kwan foforɔ bi before a ɔmode saa email no nso ɛbɛba. So it's very important to make sure say as much as possible no say biribi sɛ esi deɛ a, then you will make attempts to also look for another employer who is able to grant or give you saa COS no nso. So as much as possible no say oh situation no mu a, then you make the effort to find another employer who will do so, because Embrano is in favor of nkurɔfoɔ a ɔmo te mu deda a ɔmo san hwehwɛ another COS ɛwɔ UK kurom ha. So in terms of the government's announcements ne deɛ, they will bring the changes bit by bit, but they will make sure say at least yɛbɛyɛ aware ansa na ɔmo de saa changes no ɛbɛba. Usually they bring it in the form of statement of changes. Nti say if it is going to come this year, next 2 years ɔmo bɛma yɛn na yɛtumi ɛde ato edwa na at least nkurɔfoɔ ehu na ɔmo ate sɛ say ne say ɛna government no ɛde ɛba. Nti media update no wɔ ha na yɛtumi atoa so.
Yo, lawyer Eunice, yeah, that's papa na kyerɛ sɛ a day in and day out no, ɔsɛ yɛhwɛ nea ɛrekɔ na yɛntu ho anamo nti na yɛde abɛto dwa update no sɛ wonka ho a ɛma wo nsuro. But one thing I menim about home office, nneɛma a wɔkeka nka nyinaa no sɛ womia w'ani a wobɛtumi ɛfiri mu. Ɔho ɛyɛ na ayɛ den deɛ, but yɛgyidi sɛ ɛbɛtumi ayɛ yie. Yo, la Eunice, yɛbɛkɔ yɛnim. Thank you so much. Producer, sɛ mpatwa wɔ hɔ a sɛ wobɛtumi de me topic no ato dwa de ama me na menka ho nsɛm ketewa bi pɛ na ɛnɛ no yɛbisa sɛ alternative bɛn na ɛwɔ hɔ a wobɛtumi switch to healthcare route, visa route no so no. Healthcare, and as a health and social care visa route nearby, and no meka visa route. Then is the same meaning. It was from the beginning great opportunity at UK for Edema, the whole world. Why am I saying the whole world? It's not say to me application from any country na odiaba and my Crawford companies are more care companies, no, or more care home, it be a home, it be a domiciliary, be more, different, no, or more to me eco recruitee all the way from kuro foforɔ so ebi mo Ghanafoɔ a ɛwɔ mu obviously ɔmo recruit from Ghana, Nigeriafoɔ a ɛwɔ mu ɔmo bɛyɛ from Nigeria. I mean different countries, Sierra Leone, obi a bɛ try sɛ ne kuromufoɔ dodoɔ deɛ ɔbɛgye bi atum, and the same way ɔmo mix nso. Nti saa deɛ abɛtwam, but one thing I kept saying is say opportunity na ɛbaeɛ no yɛnhu so hwɛ, yɛnhu so hwɛ because yɛma nneɛma bi adi yɛnim, instead of wobɛka sɛ greedy, instead of yɛbɛ concentrate the quality of the thing no, we rather focus on the quantity and how much a yɛbɛtumi agye efiri saa nkurɔfoɔ yi anaasɛ mfaso a yɛn bɛnya efiri nkurɔfoɔ a yɛde ɔmo ɛɛba no. Obiara yɛ bi, obiara yɛ bi, me koraa meyɛ victim, obiara yɛ bi, however no yɛbɛgu so wa fall into victims a na yɛbɛpa wo in the first place. Na secondly no nso no ɛnyɛ wo mfomsoɔ, ɛnyɛ obiara mfomsoɔ. Companies no ɔmo ehu so hwɛ, nti no yɛadwene ho a sisi a home office ehu sɛ opportunity anaa ahoɔden a ɔde maa saa companies no, ebi mo abuse ahoɔden no, na kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo ama power drunk bi bɛseɛ, ɔmo abuse no ɛma sisi affect nipa bebree, ɛɛya paa. However, there's still hope. Sisi a yɛrevoke nkurɔfoɔ bebree, yɛka ne sɛn, ɔmo license ama nkurɔfoɔ ho aba abɛti gya. License na yɛ revoke no, ebi mo nya letters, ebi mo nso nya letters. Bɛnɛ no, me ne lawyer Eunice bɛka alternative bi wɔ hɔ a yɛbɛtumi afa. Sɛ ayɛmbia wo yɛ revoke wo license anaasɛ yɛagye wo tumi afiri wo nsam, yɛama wo 60 days, adeɛ bɛn mpɔtee ɛna wobɛtumi ayɛ fiti ɛnnɛ yi ara ɛrekɔ. Nti ɛnnɛ yɛde topic no abɛto dwa sɛ what are the alternatives a wobɛtumi aswitch from saa care route no a wowɔ no a sisi ɛho ate kyima no na kɔ biribi foforɔ. Ɛnnɛ ɛno na ɛba abɛka ho, ɛne ho nsɛmsɛm bebree. Nti sɛ woretie me a, mɛsrɛ wo nko ara ɛnkyɛ mfa. This topic is really on my heart sɛ yɛbɛka ho asɛm. Nti bɔ mmɔden na share, let it go viral na yɛnhu, even if only one alternative koraa na ɛwɔ a yɛn na yɛnhwɛ how best it will help us and it can help us. Nti no, join me as we digest into this particular headings. The topic is what are the alternatives to switching from the health and care visa route. Lawyer Eunice, major floor na the amount the next 15 minutes na afei deɛ mebisabisa ho questions kakra ɛwɔ hɔ no, metumi megya ma wo ɛme alternatives bɛn ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ a metumi aswitch from health and care visa route no so. Adaroma.
Yes, bebree ma yɛte. Like you said, topic wey deɛ ehia nkurɔfoɔ bebree because based on government no krampo ɔmo white paper na ɔmo de ba main mu, almost say about 108 people or 108,000, sorry, 108,000 people have entered through that route since 2023. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. And I'm sure, say, yeah, they are not counting even dependents and I mean spouses. No, there must be a lot of people who have come through that route, and mainly because Omoka say the health and care route is a route which is highly in demand. And see, they are always looking for carers and I say care workers to be able to care for, should I say, the elderly and the vulnerable in the UK. So of course, and who says our opportunity no ever hono, they made certain decisions that did not benefit everybody. And Cecilia who say and so were exploited in terms of finances and have obviously made the system look as bad as anything. But of course, we wouldn't just speak about the negatives. Say to make positives na ewo mu nso so. But I believe say when it comes to working within the health and care system in the UK, we have one of the, should I say, best healthcare systems in the world because a free NHS, and most countries you wouldn't have it like that. So to me, to your insurance be ansana way to me I access it healthcare system no. But we are very privileged in this country to be having a system where we don't have to pay any insurance or pay anything as, except for ABR medication or obefano. And see, we have a very good healthcare system here in the UK. Talking in terms of nkurɔfoɔ we yɛ adwuma within the healthcare system no, it's not just the National Healthcare Service and a recruiting nkurɔfoɔ. You also have independent um, care homes that also recruit. And see, you have those that have care homes and you have those that employ carers to go from door to door and also from house to house. And see, you have should I say business people that also employ carers to also work within the system. It is a very big, should I say, sector and I say industry. And so when it comes to nkurɔfoɔ a ɔmo ɛyɛ adwuma ɛma system na yɛn na yɛbɛkae sɛ before Brexit no, most people within the EU would have come to work here in the UK within the healthcare sector. And so Brexit ɛbaeɛ no, ɔmo ka sɛ ɛndeɛ sɛ saa na ɛteɛ deɛ a ɛndeɛ ɔmo san akɔ back to ɔmo kurom. Nti thousands of EU nationals left back to ɔmo kurom na ɔmo firi no because they felt like they were not welcome in the UK. Nti yes, the government opened up the system post Brexit 2021 no ɔmo be a health care system within the skilled worker route. Into skilled work route no route a government no ebie ɛma dodoɔ no a ɔmo firi amano ne nyinaa sɛ at least mobɛtumi meet 70 points within the approved skill level, the English language, and salary levels there, then we would allow you to come into the UK. Integrated some sort of criteria nkurɔfoɔ ɛbɛtumi ɛde aba UK kurom ha na ɔmo bɛtumi atena hanom ayɛ adwuma na ɔmo anya asetena nso so ɛwɔ UK kurom ha. And that route was opened up in 2021. And by 2022 no, they saw, should I say, a vast increase in the numbers are almost back on the health and care routes because so kita care home and also or care business over here and you don't want to employ somebody who would take so much into ABA when him say recruiting from outside out, you don't have to pay as much into nkurɔfoɔ bebree recruiting from outside of the UK ɛna nkurɔfoɔ nso abuse the system no ɛde gye sika, which they are very much aware of because there are reports that have been done into the current system and the agents that have also taken money from employees and have exploited them in such a bad way. And see, of course, you have people who are here in the UK ɔmo nni adwuma yɛ because employer no ɛde ɔmo aba, and because the employer was obviously doing the wrong thing, ɔmo de nkurɔfo no baayɛ no adwuma bi ɛni hɔ nti based on that, for one reason or the other, efikasɛmfoɔ no enya ate ɔmo revoke ɔmo license. Nti because they have revoked their license, it means say nkurɔfoɔ no a ɔmo de ɔmo baeɛ no nso will be affected because sɛ adwumafoɔ no a wɔsɛ ɔmo de wo baeɛ no ɛnni adwuma deɛ a ɛndeɛ there's no need for you to be here in the UK. But um God being so good, March of this year ɛna government no kaa sɛ ɔmo ehu sɛ dodoɔ naa no ɛwɔ system no mu a ɔmo ntumi ebia enya switch immediately into they put within the immigration rules a clause within appendix skilled worker say oh yeah health and care employer na say at least ubenya obi aye juma within your company there and they say utumi recruiting from within the UK and show good reason if you are unable to employ somebody from within the UK.
Mm.
Nti dodoɔ no had to now make sure say they had put out an advertisement for any
Mm.
recruitment that they were making to make sure say ampa almost the advertisements ato hɔ sɛ ɔmo hwehwɛ nkurɔfoɔ ayɛ adwuma and if they were able to show that they tried and they were not able to get any employees from within the UK there, then they can go out and then look outside of the UK. But I believe that Dodwana would not be able to do
Good.
so because there are so many within the
People
system.
looking for.
Yes,
Mm.
within the
Mm.
system anyway. You see, of course, say you share the fact say ebia ya revoke employer ne license na employee no e wo chrome ha only lines I mean COS there then it means say it is better that they look for another company and as a sponsor obetumi ama omo saa COS and as a certificate of sponsorship omo betumi e de atena from ha most of the time so person will switch you have
Mm.
to meet certain requirements and yet
Mm.
healthcare system also is very broad
Yeah.
into we have within the health and care sector not just care
Mm.
workers and also social workers we have within
Mm.
the healthcare system we have midwives we have nurses we have
Mm.
doctors we have general practitioners we have midwives we have dentists we have veterinaries we have
Endorse. Endorse.
orthopedics.
Yeah.
There's so
Mm.
many jobs and
Yes.
other occupations
Under the
with
health sector.
the health and
Mm.
care sector. Into,
Mm.
of course, say, oh, share just care work, any social work there, and the ABA, you'll be limiting, should I say, your
The
skills
section.
within, yes, within that level. But
Mm.
whilst you are here, at least so when him say oh ebia metumi ayɛ saa plab na nkurɔfoɔ ɛreka ho asɛm in terms of
Mhm.
nursing nti ma menkɔyɛ bi na menhwɛ sɛ metumi
Mm.
anya NHS adwuma no bi a nti
Yeah.
whilst you have your leave on this other employers route na wayɛ plab no bi na at least wetumi ahwehwɛ NHS adwuma no bi because
Mm.
there are other jobs within the NHS and it's not
Yeah.
just limited to care work. It's a
Mm.
plab, no, at least wokɔ ho mameka say classes kakra na at least
Mhm.
we are confident kakra is like an English test and
Yeah.
so oh yeah you have to be able to
Oh,
read
oh,
write
oh, spell word the name I make a cry.
plab into PLAB plab
Mhm.
yeah it's with the plab test when say oh yeah then it will give you a pin to be able to work within the NHS
NHS. Mm.
when it comes to NHS adwuma no nso there are a variety of should I say roles or and I say occupations that are sponsored into
Mm.
wohwehwɛ adwuma a ɔmo betumi a
As
sponsor
Punzayo.
international yes migrants no into
Mm.
in terms of NHS adwuma no deɛ because there are various occupations within the
Mm.
NHS no, it is better to now look at ways and means to qualify um, within that sector because
Mm.
over Chrome Hano, definitely they would have needed to see some sort of qualification that meets an approved skill level of level 3 or upwards. Nti sɛ wonim sɛ ebia wowɔ deɛ no wokɔ ho university koraa nti you didn't just do a care course wokɔ ho
Mm.
university sɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ nurse nti wowɔ certificate undergraduate certificate
Mm.
na wobɛtumi ayɛ plab no deɛ a na at least woatrae ɛno no
Mm.
if for any reason you think that okay, me qualification and as a skill level, no, it's more
Mm-hmm.
than what a care worker should have there. Then
Yes.
you look at other occupations,
Mm,
midwife, nurse, and then you see which one you'll be capable of doing, and then you tailor yourself to that area, saying you are not just limited to the care work within, I mean, the route that you came. And so when it comes to health and care work, Nidia, there are various occupations, and I think say other people who have and some knowledge as to the NHS recruitment, will know say when it comes to qualifying as a nurse within the NHS and you're an international worker, you need to do certain tests, including the PLAB, to be able to get to that sector. And I
mm,
also share you don't just limit yourself to ABA, Oba, Oko, Sari, into Sari pe and I adwuma. You don't
mm,
just limit yourself to just Sari because so we'll share your sponsored license list network.gov.uk now. It has thousands of health and care sponsors. Into don't just limit yourself to the area now, there
Mobile.
are other sponsors in other parts of England and Wales. Into definitely, so yeah, applications are you have to be broad. You have to make your applications to all these different sectors, saying at least so what chances be are very limited in the area that you are now. By the fact that you are making applications outside of the area now, then you increase your chances of getting a sponsor who will be able to sponsor you as well. I know say when it also comes to dodoɔ no a ɛbaeɛ a ebi a wobaeɛ no na ebi a teaching adwuma na woyɛ but because
Mm.
obiara ɛreba care work no so no nti you
So
talk to
about
yourself, oh,
care.
mame here care course no bi na me so member as care worker but care work no ɛnyɛ me adwuma a meyɛ. So would you say this is an area that for instance you are not mostly qualified in there and they will teaching job no hwɛ sɛ wobɛtumi ayɛ biribi a yɛfrɛ no PGC ɛyɛ 1 year course a wobɛtumi ayɛ wɔ kurom a at least wobɛtumi anya that qualification to be a teacher in this country. Nti sɛ wowɔ saa care route no so na woda so wɔ w'asetena a na woayɛ saa PGC course no na at least wetumi aswitch to the education sector because ebia you are more suited to that side because ebia wo deɛ no woyɛ teacher ɛna wode baeɛ nti sɛ woyɛ saa PGC course na at least aheha ho kakra na wetumi ayɛ wo switch no from that care route to the education route. Ebinom nso wɔ hɔ a ebia na ɔmoyɛ edwuma different different. Obi ka kyerɛ me sɛ metumi aswitch to the Minister of Religion route. Mɛsɛ sɛ
And
that's our qualification na wowɔ ansa na woba deɛ a then of course
yes.
you can definitely switch to the Minister of Religion route. So over here, sorry, to me, I'm as COS as a Minister of Religion there, then why not? Of course, you can switch to that route as well. It's when it comes to the skilled worker route, apart from occupations that are various in the health and care sector, you also have other occupations within the skilled work route itself. You shouldn't just limit yourself to just the care worker. Omo ka say when to me nya COS and asset sponsor dia and na we free chrome ha. There are various other occupations and say would you say uhia time e de ahwehwɛ nneɛma sɛnea ɛteɛ deɛ a na woatumi ayɛ biribi. I know say edwuma no deɛ ehia yɛn because yɛtua sika nti nkurɔfoɔ gye ɔmo sika back. I know say edwuma no hia but it is also good to think about your future because to say sɛnea making you're revoking impact on license na in a year's time no wonni asetena a, then what is the point? It's wonim sɛ wowɔ saa route wei so na ebi a aka wo 1 year bi anaasɛ biribi saa na ɛyɛ sɛ wohwehwɛ another route a ɛbɛyɛ viable option deɛ a na wahwehwɛ another route ebi a wowɔ other skills a wobɛtumi transfer to other occupations within the occupation sector and as a
Mhm.
skilled work sector. Into
Okay.
hwɛ adwuma no bi na at least watumi ayɛ courses a ɛbɛma wa anya qualification no ɛde awura saa sector no mu. And then when it
Mm.
comes to ebi a nkurɔfoɔ a wɔrehwehwɛ saa should I say self sponsorship.
Mhm.
Self
And also.
sponsorship no, it is in the immigration rules as innovator founder.
Mhm.
Previously, no, it was an entrepreneur route. Time on what tier one, tier two, tier four, tier five, no. It was under tier one as the entrepreneur route. And
Mm.
almost no eba innovator founder route in 2023. And since April
Mhm.
of 2023, and introduce the innovator founder route. I don't know.
Father, okay.
Yes, so what you say, ube to me a creative business. Nti if you're a business minded person, obi a
Mhm.
open business, open
Mhm.
entrepreneurial inyama ye, you
Mhm.
come up with things just like that. Of
Mhm.
course, so obi a we are business minded. I almost say you have to have a business which is innovative,
Mhm.
viable, and scalable.
Mm.
I almost say
Scale up.
innovative, it means say the business is an original idea. It is different
Mhm.
from businesses that
Others.
yes,
Mhm.
did that. That's what they mean
Mm.
by innovative. Into we are very genuine person with a
Person.
genuine business plan, and you are very much into creating something which is
Yes.
original and different from what is
Different.
out there. Yes.
Mhm.
Incorporation
Even
dragons
sɛ
then.
mentwa w'ano even sɛ adwuma no bi wɔ hɔ dada koraa no a
Mhm.
wowɔ different style or approach to that
Yes.
particular adwuma no na wo deɛ because adwuma a ɛwɔ wiase nyinaa deɛ wobɛseɛ so far no bi a 10 or 15% na
Yes.
yɛntumi explore but
Yes.
adwuma a ɛwɔ hɔ nyinaa no you just the same adwuma no but you come out
Yes.
with a different idea
Different
or
approach.
approach to that
Yes.
particular
Yes.
adwuma no. Mhm.
Yes, 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 yes. And see, that's what they mean by innovative. And then when it
Mhm.
comes to the fact that the business plan has to be viable, they are looking to
Mhm.
see, say, oh, your obia, why investing into your business plan? You have
Mhm.
looked at how
Yes.
your business can grow and develop. Into you
Mm.
are somebody who has invested, researched, and done all that is needed to make sure, say, oh,
Mhm.
business now, person shall say no, it is something that can definitely grow, or it can develop into something that is even beyond you, if I can put it
Mhm.
that way.
Yes.
And scalable just means that basically you want the business to grow. It
Grow.
will
Yeah.
grow
Mm.
at a certain rate. Maybe you
Mm.
are thinking within a year you make about
I see.
200,000,
Yes.
but
Mm.
within that year, because your sales were very good, you made more than the
Mhm.
200,000 that you were
Mm.
looking at. And see, they are looking at all these things. The fact that it's
Mm.
innovative, is viable, and it's also
Mhm.
scalable. And
Mm.
this is something that almost here say Uber apply to an endorsing company to look at. And see, when
Yes.
they say an
Mm.
endorsing company, there are
Mhm.
specific endorsing bodies at home office, no airshare, and there's
Okay.
about four of them. Um,
Mm.
most of the companies that were there before, they have
Mm.
now, should I say, shortlisted them as non
Okay.
endorsing bodies, so they can no
Mm.
longer endorse. But when it
Endorse.
comes to those who want to start their businesses
Mm.
now, there are
Mm.
only four, and there's
Mm.
one specific body ɛhwɛ nkurɔfoɔ a wɔpɛ sɛ wɔyɛ something within the tech industry, and that is
Mm.
the government's entrepreneurial um body. Omo,
Mm.
they look at people that have already been selected by themselves and say, Omo no,
Mm.
they select nimpa omo pese omo ma omo sa endorsing contract and I say endorsing
Yeah.
letter. And
Mm.
see, only four of those companies exist. And so if you
Mm.
want to go on that self sponsorship route, you have to apply to that
Mm.
endorsing body, and
Body.
the form is about £1,000. You apply
Mm.
to them, and they look at all the should I say sections within your business plan. It is a
Mm.
dragons then now. almost
Ah,
show
I was
business.
just about to mention the dragons then. Say, what are share dragons then?
Yes,
Obenya a lot of ideas. In
yes,
Crawford, Bebre
yes,
Bahonom. Into
yes,
also, no say, ah, we obey any say, Semin Sumit to me
yes,
any say, ebe or even
yeah,
say, omo be pitch omo product na na so omo services and I said, Diana, the critics na etiti hono, your feedback I debe more no. Wo
yeah,
a wotie akyire no wobɛtumi afa saa feedback no na
yeah,
wafa anaasɛ you copy what the pitch was na wo nso
yeah,
wakɔ modify no you
yes,
start
yes,
but ɛyɛ a na
yes.
sikasɛm no Eunice, to be very honest
Aha,
with you ɛyɛ a na sikasɛm
you
no
got them,
ɛyɛ a
no?
na
Yes,
ɛha
yes,
adwen ɛwɔ hɔ no
yes,
so
yes. But those endorsing bodies can also invest if they think that your business plan
that's
is
correct.
innovative,
Mm-hmm.
viable, and scalable. So they
Scalable.
can also invest in your company. And that's why you have
Mm-hmm.
to fill in a form to let them look at your business plan and your products or the things that you want to start. And then
Mm-hmm.
announcing na omo in see they
Mm-hmm.
can invest in your business if they
Mm-hmm.
do so believe in it. And
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes to the funding, they expect most of it to come from you because one
Mm-hmm.
and all the plan eba.
Mm-hmm.
One
That's
ebia, one financial advisors so akasa. And so
mm-hmm.
one will seek out nkofo invest into you, and you
Yeah.
just need something small to add up to it to start
Mm,
it or make the business develop. And so when it
mm,
comes to funding it, there,
mhm,
majority of it will definitely come from you yourself.
mm.
Nti sɛ wowɔ sika bi wɔ baabi a na wode
Now
astarte.
there.
I
Saa
heard
maybe
from
question bi o. Kɔ
yes,
ɛhɛn saa ɔwɔ no deɛ ehia me. Saa
yes,
self sponsor no sɛ
yes,
woasɛte a biribiara na afei deɛ you are good to go. Na
mm-hmm,
woyɛ a is
mm-hmm,
there a minimum wages a ɔsɛ wotumi tua wo ho anaasɛ ade
mm-hmm,
no go on ne deɛ because business that we know sometimes you can go down sometimes you can come
yes.
up. Can there be a variation with your salary? And I said, most was our threshold 38,000. Now you ought to be able to come out with such an amount to pay yourself. Sanity. And now there is a variation within.
So when it comes to the immigration rules prior to almost the rules in 2023, no, they were
Mm-hmm.
looking at somebody who is able to invest over £50,000 and etc. And see,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you don't have that amount of money, and yeah, won't share her cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but since the innovator founder routes was started, they haven't put a specific amount ASL or but they
Mm-hmm.
expect you to go through the endorsing body. And the endorsing body is what will actually tell you if you have enough funding or you don't have enough funding. You see,
Mm-hmm.
they don't expect you to have a salary per se, but they
Okay.
expect you to have enough funding to be able to make the business grow.
Flow.
Into
Okay.
usika na wo no. Say
Mm-hmm.
almost a business idea na. Almost say debi o usika na
Mm-hmm.
enso baby ubehia ebia this amount of money to be able
Mm-hmm.
to get it to this point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you start it by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then you employ other people later because the whole point is that you start to increase in income and increase in employing others as well. That's what they mean by scalable. And so when it comes to the business idea and I say the business plan now now, it is those endorsing bodies and I said those endorsing companies, no, and I remember who said, hey, be our business plan, no, unshare way, unshare into unfortunately, yen to me and my endorsement. And I said well, actually, with business plan, no, you've looked at all the necessary things that you need to look at, and so they believe, say, you are worth, should I say, endorsing. No more, I endorse. So no more the endorsing letter. No, I'll send you over to me. I application. No, but that needs time. You can't just
Yeah.
get up one day and say you're starting a business
Mm.
without a proper business plan, which has been thoroughly looked at and proved. Then you can't just go to the endorsing body and say, oh,
Mhm.
business plan way, person almost drama. Sometimes I just laugh because if people didn't
Mm.
say almost best starting business, no, na and one they say. omode application air to no, the
Mm,
endorsing
mm,
company has to give you that endorsement letter and
yeah.
sana wait to me
I
IS
eh,
application
I
no.
think say most of my people coming through these care routes now, yeah, we were not equipped with this kind of ideas.
Mhm.
Only few. Don't get me wrong. Who are me? Only few. Really genuine ideas, creative ideas to do stuff. But
Yeah.
from my experience, no, as I care roots, no, I had opportunity to interview a whole lot of people. Now,
Mm.
mo kasemu, mo ideas, out to say, abrochire na dodoɔ na apɛ sɛ ɛba.
Mhm.
But
Mhm. Mhm.
when it comes to BB say, oh, come out with an idea, come out, be creative, not creative, BB ni yɛnhwɛ wobɛhu sɛ majority ɔmo hu ne ɔbɛka sɛ na yɛma meɛ ɛno na ɛkyerɛ sɛ woa wogyina hɔ wo ti na hwee nim wahu nti ɛno akɔyɛ burden ɛde ama yɛn.
Yeah.
Look, there are services providers a ɔmo wɔ hɔ, they can support you if you have an idea, if you are creative biribi a ebia wonni saa skills no to develop into that further, but then ɛnyɛ ɔno na ɔbɛpɛ business no ɛde ama wo. You must first of all have the business, think about how you want the business to run. Wodeɛ sketch bibi koraa te de to hɔ na yɛ wokɔ online now woka say how to write a business plan. Wo na wokita business, wo na wowɔ saa idea, wo na wowɔ saa services no. Wobɛtumi a sketch, then you can take it to the professionals to go through for you. No one trɛ said this, of course it comes with a fee. Nti ɔmo yɛ ne nyinaa ma wo a, before you move to the next stage. La Eunice, we
Yeah.
no, I have said no, and a
Yeah.
year burden, biggest
Yeah.
burden
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Obi to me back, so no business, but say I'm business a business, but now baby mommy, look at this. Look at this. Onubeka say, oh, say sponsor ni bi aba, any business ni bi mami ni enye. You see? So in the first place, no one ni passion for adekodi a wopɛ sɛ wodwen ho no. It
Yeah.
should come
Yeah.
from you, and
Yeah.
that is where we are lacking. And we say we have a school, and I say you will be your community
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
have a safe haven beer. Yeah, but now you some of these things, how to
Yeah.
develop your thinking skills to come out with things like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Right, Eunice. We say you
Yeah.
have a biggest dream. We have a business. We some business idea, no, no. But you see, it's a
Yeah.
problem in system, yen
It's true.
community anymore. And on la Brian from Yamre no ko. What about says is here no? Say be mo see some way student in so almost some bet to me
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what you can no bet to me switch it to students. Oh, you mentioned
Yes.
say or bet to me PGCE, which when it
Yeah.
comes to teaching, I really so passionate about teaching.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
PGCE, okita 3 years skill routes and a
Yeah.
visa.
Yeah.
Now okoye sa we na is
Yeah.
payable.
Yeah.
Meaning say enye free. And
There
no
be.
so kodane sikasem.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah. Yeah.
when we are going through a back and forth, I won't say, I didn't escalate. Now it started from somewhere with the
Yeah.
problem of finances. So it
Yeah.
started somewhere. Sebi. Ibi mo kra omunya shift ni ade kra no. Omusika no shift omunya no.
Mhm.
Omusika no enso omuhwe.
Yeah.
How to raise funds, to be able to raise funds, be say so
Yeah.
the school fees. And I
Yeah.
said, but there is still hope.
Yeah.
Courses ni bi wɔ hɔ a wobɛtumi start from online
Yeah.
saa then you build up nti time a
Yeah.
wo build up no na at least wobɛnya mmerɛ na wobɛtumi de ayɛ biribi but
Yeah. Yeah.
ɔmo anya nkurɔfoɔ anto ɔmofo ɛna ɔmo a yɛto ɔmofo no dodoɔ nso feel sɛ o ade
So,
meyɛ adwuma ɛda na megyae kɔkɔ school megyae kɔ akɔyɛ
and
online course ɔnni time ne ade and now
yeah.
ade no sisi a no obi si sophisticate yɛn.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
break
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah.
then we kyerɛ nneɛma a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ to break out
Yeah.
from all these things.
Yeah.
Sisi
Yeah.
ano sɛ obi ɛwɔ saa wei no obɛtumi akɔ school fine but
Yeah.
you
Sakana.
definitely pay the school
Yeah.
fees. Nti wɔnyɛ obi support wo a you look at the long term na obi support wo a nyame yɛ wɔ adom na wonya sponsor now you go into teacher na wonya wei a then na wo ne nipa no ayɛ dɛn asettle. Seek
I said,
for help. So seek for help.
yeah.
Afei nso no Sɛ the last but one na mpɛ sɛ yɛka ho asɛm ni ɛyɛ sɛ ebi a
Mm,
woahyia obi na wo mu wo ne obi na ɛbaeɛ all right but
mhm.
sisi a sɛnea ahokyerɛ no ba no woahu sɛ obiara fa ne kwan mu monkyekyɛ na divorce so, na
Yeah,
monkɔpɛ obi foforɔ sɛbio sɛ wanhyɛ me nyinsɛn a ɔnware me
yeah,
na obi a ɔno watentim wɔ kurom ha dada meka sɛ watentim a na kyerɛ sɛ ɔnyɛ subject to any anaa limited to any immigration visa biara nti na kyerɛ sɛ
yeah,
ɔwɔ either indefinite or ɔyɛ British citizen anaasɛ ɔyɛ EU permanent
yeah,
settled status nipa nti biribi saa no a kwan bɛn sɛn wotumi ma yɛn advice kakra ɛwɔ hɔ how to go about it anaa.
yeah. So when it comes to obia ebia or the dependent ebaye, into most of
Mhm,
the time when you're speaking to people, I remember shall say ebia me bano me name yere and ebaye and I
mhm,
say me name kunu and ebaye. If that is the case, na omo catch say aware no anko si hwe into yaye divorce into yeah in person ye be worry biom. In
mhm,
that case, then you say to them, so what shall be ewo krom ha okita
mhm,
sa British citizenship and also okita
mhm,
indefinite leave to remain.
mhm,
Whether omo ye Ghana ni omo kita indefinite and I say EU ni a omo kita indefinite, they
mhm,
can still make an application
mhm,
based on sa nipa na oye omo partner na say oye omo kunu and I say eyere. And most
mhm,
of the time, they are looking to see whether the relationship is genuine and
mhm,
subsistent. And see, how do you show that a relationship is genuine? Most of the time, most couples live together. So they expect to see evidence that you are living together. Whether you are married or you are partners, they expect to see, say, you are living together with each other. And they expect to see, say, at least there are certain things that you share together into whether is bills that you pay or the fact that you have certain things addressed to you at your address. They want to see that. They want to see the say at least you have six different official sources coming through from the same address. Into that's one of the things that they look at. And they also want to know, say, the relationship, no, it's intim koso. Into yes, you have divorced, but this new ekunu and I say you're now no, they want to know, say, ampa ekunu na wo no, moye bibia at least mo income no munim into pay slips ne bank statements ne saa yɛma no ne nyinaa ɛfa efie hɔ nti sɛ moatena together ebi a 1 year 2 years na ebi a baako ɛyem because wobɛhyia no moatena abom for some time nti mobɛtumi aproduce evidence of your work, evidence of antenatal classes and all of those things. Then they can say okay, this relationship is actually genuine and subsistent. Sɛ mo aware nso so a, then you provide evidence of your marriage certificate to show say ampa moyɛ awarefoɔ a mo aware a mote bom nti ɔmo nhwɛ ɛyam a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ebi a mo aware for the past 1 month nti ebi a wowɔ bills a mo din ɛwɔ so anaasɛ sɛ gye mowɔ GPA a the same GP practice nti wɔbɛtumi produce saa letter no to show say you are registered to the same GP practice. So they want to see something to show say ampa mo aware a mote bom. And when it comes to the fact that ebia nipa baako n'asetena no ewu di a, then the child element comes into play. So w'asetena no ewu koraa na ebia because of the fact say wo 60 days na ɔmode maa wo no wentumi enya hwee di a, then the only thing that will allow you to make the application from within the UK no will be the fact say akwadaa ɛwɔ mu. So what that's what sitting there, then you don't need to go outside of the UK to make the application. Over to me, I application no from EHA based on our area. It's only when wasitena ne ewu no ɛna ɔmo bɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ san kɔ kurom na
Hey.
kɔyɛ application no. Nti ɛno no saa no sɛ nipa no ɛwɔ ba ɛwɔ kurom ha anaasɛ mo awo ba ɛwɔ kurom ha deɛ a, then you can make the application based on oyere anaasɛ okunu ɛne akɔlaa no. Into the fact that there's a child in it makes it possible for you to make the application no from within the UK. Otherwise, normal culture say kofie na koye application no eba. Into today, dear, we've looked at all the different routes, whether it's
Lawyer Eunice,
other way.
to was answer. We was say mommy chalk or mommy break or say skill workers na aba na omo ho akyere omo na obi apɛ baabi de ne ti afa no sɛ ɔnyɛ obi sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔware ne sisi a na mbia yɛma ne 60 days na 60 days na atwam wo deɛ yɛbɛyɛ ne one after the other
Yeah,
ɔwɔ 60 days na ɛno
yeah,
deɛ ehia sɛ ɔbɛkɔ outside the country na ɔnkɔyɛ application ne mbra right because ɔda
yes,
so wɔ visa so
yes,
na
yes,
sɛ 60 days na atwa mu deɛ a ɛne ɔsɛ ɔkɔ na
yes,
ɔnkɔyɛ aware ne mbra. Is that
yes,
what you are saying?
yes, yes,
Ah, lawyer
yes,
Eunice, we
yes,
dear, you can't say. Home office in your dear or chai.
yes. Because was it nani wa? Then these other alternatives that we are talking about, then it
Doesn't apply
becomes
to you.
yes, it becomes non-existent. Into say
Hey,
say so in your bibia, then we are saying say start looking at how you can obviously regularize your stay when
mm-hmm.
such things happen because obia are unstable within the health and care route.
Exactly.
They are
Okay,
very unstable. It's you have to
okay.
start planning now rather than
Mm.
waiting for the bad news to come before you
Come.
start planning. Yeah.
Okay, that's first stage. Now,
Yeah.
say mene obi e wo ho dada. E na sisi a ye twen say ye be ma yen sa 60 days ni. Sisi a ye ntwen bi ntim pese me divorce no. Na
Yeah.
me divorce no nso no. The divorce process take time. It's not like
Yeah.
who can say na ye divorce na a divorce. So,
Mm.
so while a year divorce process no sisi a mo aba mo di be 2 years and not 3 years wa ha. Can you still divorce from back home? And answer you have to do it here. And then my first question.
Oh. No, not necessarily because obviously say maware 1 year, 2 years na
Mm-hmm.
no mo pese mo ye divorce it's
Mm-hmm.
not limited to Ekrumha. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the divorce ne dear
Mm-hmm.
Ekrumha, so mo divorce certificate atuma, they expect said the divorce was done through a court proceeding. And to say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, yeah, will fear dear, they expect say will foreign divorce certificates now one. It was
Mm-hmm.
done through a court proceeding, and at least a competent authority was the one that issued it. Into say if it was not through a competent authority and it wasn't
They
through
will
a
not
court,
accept it.
they won't accept it as a
Okay.
valid divorce.
But
Yeah.
your presence is not needed back home to go through the divorce, right?
There be over to me ama obi ejine mu
Okay.
ama. Yeah.
So if it's through the competent and our court proceedings now,
Mhm.
and there they will accept it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nti ano ne first way a
Yeah.
yebetumi ye de tumu ene na it goes through the court proceedings no
Yes.
na eba there then it's accepted here.
Yes.
Nti no say ama me ma ye divorce we no aba sisi a na ya ma me
Yeah.
60 days no. Now
Yeah.
o bo nneɛma bebree so say or say wunya a whole lot of evidence to show say
Yeah.
either you are living together and so living together and you say yeah ho education because yeah mamre no be worry why you don't live together anyway or say lawyers mo fight sa ho ne maye na enye adwuma anyway and no is just by the way ain't you know you have to show evidence na sisi no home office amount 2 months pe 2 months
Mm.
no so divorce na ba mbia why divorce no wetumi aye bibia ma na ba na
Mm.
wo
Mm.
2 months nipa no wo nso so wo divorce no bia 3 months penny na wo divorce ni bi nyina go to na we share obi foforo nti se a we share obi foforo yi
Yeah.
If home office is demanding like at least a year evidence say partner together, how is that possible? Because say
Yeah.
to me show be or don't chichire 1 3 4 days and say let's get married. You married. Does that mean so say mushtina na mo study mo for 1 year nya evidence say ampa matna wa ansa na mo betumi proceed with the application and ho na e chi ma dwen kakra but obetumi no.
Yes, and see, when it comes to Obia or your application, nah, they're usually the immigration rules looks at whether you are a partner or a spouse.
Okay.
In the OSHA Home Office Appendix FM definition of a partner,
Mm.
usually it will be somebody you would have had a genuine relationship with.
Okay.
Prior to 2024, no, it was somebody you have lived with for at least 2 years.
Two
But
years.
I
Mm-hmm.
can meet somebody within a year, meaning
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
and we are partners. We haven't lived
Yeah,
together for
yeah,
two
yeah.
years.
One from my wolf one dear
Yeah,
wo. Of
yeah,
course, when you be a would dear,
yeah,
nature say,
yeah,
what nache, and you one
yeah,
shooting pen
yeah.
and yin send what nache. But may count the typical scenario we are facing me face BCC, I mean, no case.
Yeah, so we
So,
should
it
be
is
yes,
a honor,
yes,
person me who
yes,
ye, na ye one
yes,
and why better.
yes. So when you are saying say we should
Mm-hmm.
be our or partner, they
Mm-hmm.
expect to see that you are living together because
Okay.
almost immigration rules no HSS. So we'll say obey your partner. It is more than
Mm-hmm.
a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Of course,
Obi
yes.
your girlfriend and answer with boyfriend that. Ebia
Mm-hmm.
sometimes open a fear, we spend it one
Mm-hmm.
night, 2 nights now call. You
Mm-hmm.
don't really live with the person. So it is not a relationship which is akin to marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
the definition here is something which is like a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are saying say, oh, one in partner ends there, then it's not a
Mm.
partnership. It is more like girlfriend and boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas if you are saying that you are married to the person, say what
Mm-hmm.
worry nipa kono 3 weeks crampo na, they are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to look at that
So I put
application
to her
because your marriage certificate shows that you are
mm,
married to this person. Yes, you've known them for
3 weeks
some time.
ago. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you are married and we married 3 weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm.
we are now living together. And see, with
Okay.
that, they have to look at the application because there's a marriage certificate that recognizes the fact that you both are together as husband and wife.
Wife. Okay.
Yeah,
And Eunice, nkɔmɔ wɔ yɛ dɔɔso and me hu sɛ
yeah,
nkurɔfoɔ line egu line a wɔpɛ sɛ wɔn frɛ. However, ne no yɛmmerɛ ni sa. So yɛbɛyɛ part two, please. A
yeah,
special request. Yɛbɛyɛ part
yeah,
two because I
yeah,
can bɛyɛ
yeah,
three questions, danger questions. I will say maybe
yeah.
so. Near go into this. And you know, from now no maybe telephone lines no more pɛ sɛ wɔn frɛ no. Na ɔmo mfrɛ na yɛntumi ɛma ɔmo mmuaeɛ nkurɔfo bebree pɛ sɛ ɔmo hu neɛ sɛnea ade no ɛteɛ no sɛnea ɛrekɔ nti numbers a wobɛtumi de afrɛ no ɛwɔ board ne so na we'll come out with part two of this particular topic no sɛnea na yɛn breaki the whole scenario because I know about nkurɔfo bebree a wɔwɔ situation wei mu
Mm,
wɔpɛ breaker how are they sign wɔn ho na time within time wei na frame na ɛwɔ wɔ mu no na
mm,
ankɔ obi anka enter weaving very well sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a
mm,
wode application no kɔto mu a home office ɛmba so wɔn
yeah,
adeɛ no sɛ yɛnyɛ establish sɛ yes we can do it from home from back home
yeah,
to Uber
yeah,
divorce back home, and then you can remarry the
yeah,
new person you've met, so from back home. And
yeah,
also should go through the court proceedings and non home office for be accepted. And the telephone lines to call and then ask your question. Your question can base on this particular topic that we've treated right now. And I say it could be something different. Ube to Mr. Bisa 0208 493 7340. Now, you use office lines no due to technical way and until no say dada na onim no friend no a ebe ringi but yen to me pick so please pay attention to the numbers that I'm calling 0399208464 ufre no nso a yebetumi apagya na ya ma na obetumi afre sa WhatsApp number first na ka voice note nko a but you can call on WhatsApp na yɛtumi ayɛ de ama wo nti no obi wɔ ahoma no so ɔdɔfo a wɔ ahoma so pakyɛ kasa yɛtie wo kasa firi
Hello, good morning.
good morning maame
mepacho mekyia mo anɔpa yi. Lawyer
Yɛde
Winnie, lawyer Eunice, menim sɛ na yɛka skilled worker a ho nsɛnsɛm na mepacho wɔ me wɔ question bi a nka mepɛ sɛ nka woboa me for visitors visa ho.
okay.
Mepacho 2020 no ɛna me maame baeɛ. Na ɔbaeɛ lockdown baeɛ nti no ne return flight no mo cancel no bɛyɛ 3 times. Ɛno
Mhm,
say maame stay more than 6 months no. But
mhm,
during this time, home office ma obiara kwan, obiara a ontumi nkɔ obiara kwan to apply to extend the visa, even though the visa need 2 years, we still did the application to extend the visa with the reason say or stay more than 6 months, because from your understanding, even though you have 2 years, you have to stay 6 months. Na
mm,
nti pato yɛyɛ saa nneɛma no nyinaa. This time ɔsɛ abɛbiem na on the application no, there's a question just say, um, have you remained in the UK beyond the validification of your visa or permission to stay? And from your understanding, permission to stay, no, 6 months. In
mhm,
this case, now during the COVID, or stay 9 months, even though home office man, extension, you apply
mhm.
for extension, should we click on yes or should we click on no? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, confused kakra. And I'm
mm,
saying me trainer and me uba na me bisa wansa na ya go ahead because me just say in my understand me just say one stay illegal even though stay over 6 months because he was given the permission.
mm,
But me person is from a lawyer's perspective,
mm.
advice then or the
Yo,
mammy.
mpacholo ayun is bema umuaye, but
Yeah.
me so me understand and it says, bibia you need to explain. Until ayun is inti mpacho man answer na me
Yes.
why pacho.
So when it comes to staying beyond your valid period, you will put say yes because she was given a 2 year visa, visitors visa. Unfortunately, she was meant to leave after 6 months, and because of the COVID, she was not able to leave. So when you put yes, I'm sure it will give you a section where you would be able to explain the entire or tonight, and then you can say the government concession was applied for, and she was able to remain until so and so date. Until what they share honum sadia, then they know say at least because of COVID, or apply for concession and I'm the man. Yeah.
Me patcho mati. Me patcho click yes.
Yes.
O taking so no why explain say won say your further explanation page wo ho
Me
a
patcho aye.
obetumi
Me patcho aye.
akyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma mu enti no ɛhɔ nso no akɔtɔ bibi kakra na case
Yeah.
worker na ɔfa wo we no na adua nkɔbom na ɔnkɔyɛ neɛ
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, me
Okay,
patcho
me wa
mati.
question back wɔ ha
Me
wo a wo
patcho.
a wo no so batete na so ma me why I say good morning Manyeti and lawyer Eunice. I am EU national with settled status. Can I get married to someone in the UK who hasn't got any status in order for her to acquire limited leave to remain? Also, if I have to bring the person from Ghana as EU national, what are the requirements? Yo,
Okay.
Auntie Ines, two
So
things.
yes, to say I mean my explanation no, at the end of
Mm,
discussion no.
mm,
So we are EU
mm,
national crown now kita settled status so what will be no ni nkrata they will say nipa ko no onko fie na onko ye application na embra.
mm, mm,
Unless you are saying say who are we EU national no or eba under the age of 18 wo hwe no nti
mm,
nipa na wo pese wo ware no ɔbɛboa wo ama woahwɛ wo ba no nti ɛno no
mhm,
san no sɛ woda so ne saa nipa no wɔ hɔ a wo ne no te deɛ a ɛndeɛ
mm,
it means sɛ because of akwadaa no ɔboa wo with akwadaa no ebi a ɔne akwadaa no kɔ school ɔkɔpɛki no ɔde no kɔ GP appointments and all of those things because of ɛno nti no she can
mm,
make the application from within the UK because Akolano is a child who is either settled or is British and Nasa Watna Chrome for a continuous period of 7 years or yeah under the age of 18. Into because of
mm,
one enuncino, it will be unreasonable say Akolano so every free Chrome with one name mameno. So that will help in terms of that. But say Muniba under the age of 18 na so oko fie dia then she will have to meet the relationship requirements, the English language requirements, and then you have to meet the maintenance requirements of 29,000 annual income per annum. And then also she will do the tuberculosis or kofia. So obviously that will be the case. And also bear in mind that because what's not a chrome her illegally, she will have that automatic 1 year ban as well. Yeah. Sorry. Maya yente unka.
Yenye obi nso a omane so mpacho bisa question yeti o. Mpacho wa wonama 904 no. Me pick o call no. Lower TV no na kasa yeti o. Na kasa den kakra why?
Mpacho me question so skilled worker visa nso.
Hold on 1 minute. Lo Eunice o tenenka.
Pachai.
Okay, kasa yeti o.
Mpacho me say skilled worker visa nso. Na say people that
O kasa no we chire o, papa.
I think said there's something muffling in the background.
Yes.
hello?
Yeah, kasa din yeti o.
Me pacho me say skilled worker visa nso. Na pa na so dependent no mo onkola enti bibi nti wontimi ye adwuma na wakọ efia ba. True say mo renew mo visa no and I say mo ye mo je asetena na nhyehyɛ ebe ne wo ho ebe affect ono ne de na na say
Ono no ye dependent.
we pacho ai.
And they say affect say woni me no and Eunice mpacho ebe affect omo indefinite na.
So when to me and Juma, so you're dependent in say affect no. As
Or
long
share
as the
kwala.
skilled worker is working with the registered company and I said the sponsor license holder, no, they should be able to renew visa no as smoothly as possible.
Okay, mpacho what you say?
Me pacho ai mate ase na
Okay.
edru asetena ne nso eno nso en fa how be amba.
There be say no ani who renew na what to me renew there say asetina na enye burden. Because or hwe nkwala or now
Yeah.
looking at children so e adwuma o
Yeah.
papa. No na ye dependent no.
Yeah.
Why? Senka ye me no na wonye adwuma ene what
Yeah.
waboka egu.
Yeah.
Okay, me da se.
Yenso ye das papa share me program hu say wa share.
Me pacho.
Share ma me why?
Yeah, me da
Yeah.
se.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, ye wodofo ba ko ahomane so hello kola mpacho yeti o yen kasa.
Hello, good morning. I'm a
Good
Pele
morning.
lawyer Eunice now. But my question, may year in um, 10 years route. So now we chat 7 years. I got 3 years. Now, yeah, whatever. Me so it's not unfortunate.
Congratulations.
Now, but me really put 2.5 or 10 years route. So I got 7. I got 3 years. I mean, we said lawyer says, see, I cry a bay or buy him, and then the very week. The see, I cry a bay. The Busan lawyer say, is it any special application? Because you meet me, so and I meet me, I apply at the end of it. Since I'm a record 10 years, I will just 7, I will new 10. A banner swab and any asset. No. Is it any special application? Be a lawyer between a boy, I'm a mimic them and getting assets and their shit or banner yaklanana.
Okay, lawyer
Okay.
is what you nkan ye.
Pacho na or kase on ne should I say partner omo nyaba ne partner wo 2.5.
Oma wo ba ne partner na nya 10 year no or no that 10-year route ne so. E na we nya
Okay.
10 years no. Enti no
Okay.
is there any application no be ye e dey aka ne ye. Mpacho se wo so asesa na wo kan ye. Oh, they are too
Lawyer,
so.
my question is, me name is
Oh,
me name is partner now. Or no,
Okay.
10 years route or by under 10 years route visa so. Now we just
Yeah.
7 so far. We
Yeah.
just 7. I got 3 now. While we
Okay.
10 years Now,
Okay.
to see the awoba akwa ne nyanya yi kura ma no oba am say akwa ne fresh me be ma no
Okay.
de me ni asetena me be ma no so far me ni asetena de na me busa lawyer say me that 10 years route so I work aka 3 years ama onyanya definite na see akwa ba no me be ma no me nya adwuma because me ni asetena me na me so ni mu
It's
ade na me
10
busa lawyer
years
say
no also no.
any special application dia ebetimi aye appeal to home office ama anu me nyere 10 years na work on aka 3 years no that mean mama must tena aye adwuma de ahwe oba ne akwa na
Okay, Matthias here. Into well, you're 10 years no. Then now, man 10 years. Is it because she's a parent of a child who is British and now settled and now say what's not Chrome has 7 years? Then now we're in and now say we'll partner on this.
ne
I
ma
can't.
ne maame ne papa ne kɔfa ne baeɛ ne maame deɛ wɔ indefinite dada na ne papa ɛna kɔfa ne baeɛ ne papa nso so na ɔkɔ 10 years because ne papa di kan baeɛ na ɔkɔɛ nti na ɔba bi wura mu na yɛ 10 years na wɔkɔ nti ne papa ne maame ne kɔfa ne baeɛ ne maame deɛ already ɛwɔ indefinite dada ba ne papa ne
Okay.
baeɛ na ɔsan kɔɔyɛ nti ne papa no ɛkɔ 10 years nti saa 10 years na ne papa no ɛkɔ no
Yeah.
ɛne bi na ne papa de kɔfa ne baeɛ so for now no
Okay.
wɔatwa 7 nti ne maame deɛ
Okay.
ɛwɔ indefinite wɔ hɔ but girl ne papa
Okay.
deɛ ɛwɔ 10 years a ɔno atwa ne 10 years awie nti saa route na ɛbi na ne yere no de bi wura mu nti ɔno nso atwa 7
Yeah.
a sisi a wawoɔ ɔno nso nya adwuma no nso menni
Yeah.
adwuma nti na mebisa sɛ bi a yɛbɛtumi a appeal special application bi ama home office ama me me bɛrima no asetena na mede ayɛ adwuma
Okay.
ahwɛ nkwaraa no
So under Appendix FM, family roots no so no. Of course, wo partner na say wo yere no. Oba ye no because ne papa and na say ne mame e wo 2.5 a omo de room no nso. Omo man no the same leave na ne parents no wo 2.5 no e wo ne bi. Nti say ne parents enya indefinite na ono nso ebenya indefinite no so bi. Because of the fact say at the moment no Nensan can indefinite no, it will be very difficult for you to make an application based on her. But say akolano na ka say akolano with this 7 like we would say end the application no based on akolano. And now say akolano na ko kita settle status na ka yebeka say make an application based on akolano. But since any indefinite no on to me yeah application no emma akolano enya indefinite no so just like her. It is basically based on akwalaa ne maame no if neither of them have indefinite and I say akwalaa no ntena akrom ha for 7 years there and they want to mean your application no based on either maame no and I say akwalaa no na nka maame no ɛwɔ ba a ɔyɛ settled and I say British there na nka mɛtumi aka say okay and the over your application no based on maame no ɛne wo stepchild but here's the case there isn't any other child involved. In such as o try mama meaning a settled status answer now with me application. No.
okay lawyer that's it thank you
That's in you.
Yo, wotie yɛn a wotie yɛn ɛwɔ BWF Solicitors Legal Hour so yɛgu so ɛwɔ ha. Sɛ yɛnya nipa baako ahoma no so a yɛbɛtumi menhwɛ question bi ɛpɔpee up wɔ ha na menhwɛ mbisa. Ɔse Lawyer Eunice ne Manyeti ɔno nso skill worker for mo type a mo type ne yɛ mpatwɔ mekenkan free m'adeɛ yi so. Yes, ɔno nso pɛ sɛ ɔde divorce no ɛtum enum yi a ɔfa divorce no ntum. So I think say he's talking about the same time factor na time frame na
Yeah.
me mention earlier no. Nti sɛ ɔde tum a ɔde tum like ɛna a wetie program no ɔde tum ɛna a na divorce ne take mbia a week or two anaasɛ process a wɔfa mu turu biara ɛwɔ Ghana no na sɛ ɛba a ansa na ɔmbɛtumi ayɛ marriage ne nipa foforɔ no anaa na onya ne 60 days notice no but ne colleagues a yɛde ɔne ɔmo ɛwɔ saa company no nyinaa enya ɔmo 60 days ɔno nkwa enyaayɛ company no nso yɛ revoke ne license enti no ɛde advice na yɛde ma no. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that the question has to do with say mbaya obetumia ya ware na na. I think that's what the question is.
Ah.
Um they don't believe in polygamous marriages. And so you will see very clearly under Appendix FM say, they believe say, if you haven't divorced or you are still in a marriage and then you marry somebody else, they wouldn't accept it. So it is a requirement say wow already, and then now I divorce and son wow already will be for. And they don't accept polygamous marriages. It is very important say with divorce certificates no ebe ba ansan why aware no. I remember dealing with a case one time. Nani pa kono year divorce no ewo krom ha. Ne saka decree nice and no ye order ansan na with divorce certificates no ebe ba.
Mm,
No drink
mm.
say ye divorce certificates into
And of
okoye aware.
hey,
Yes. And
hey.
you who say, oh, okita divorce nice like keke. In say after
Mm-hmm.
that, oh yeah, application no for
But
divorce
absolutely
absolute.
no.
And son over to me asan akoye our really biom. Into me catch
Mhm.
and say she has to wait for the divorce to come through, then marry the husband again because a they don't accept polygamous marriages.
Yeah,
So
some more questions ne doors or say bisa sika seme wom. But lawyer Eunice, me invite ye
yeah,
nearby lawyer Annie. Non for
yeah.
English version ne embrace na afide we take it from there. Or more line is mo mami we mreka krawai na and I am resha. Enti me invite lawyer Annie Pacho oh honoma. If you can summarize today's program no am I or bro focus mo na afide ye nhwe ne be next.
Yes, so good morning to our viewers and listeners, and happy Friday to you all. So, the topic for today was what are the alternatives to switching from the healthcare visa? So, Lawyer Eunice was saying that over 100,000 people have entered the UK under the care and health visa since 2020. And that's mainly because, I mean, there are so many positions available. So, within the NHS itself, and then also independent care homes are looking for care workers as well. So, as a result of the white paper, which was published just a few months ago, now care homes are required to, first of all, recruit people from within the UK before they now look outside of the UK to bring people in. So, in terms of the options that are available for people who are in the UK on the care and health visa, there are, I mean, so many options. When you look at the skilled worker routes, I think normally some people think that it's just care, 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 but that's not the case. There are so many alternative professions that fall under the skilled worker route. So, for example, you have, of course, the care workers on the one hand and the social workers also on the one hand. But then you have doctors, midwives, pharmacists, teachers, I mean, and the list goes on. So, there are so many other professions under the skilled worker routes. So, first of all, if you are a care worker and you want to switch to another route, you shouldn't limit yourself. So, if, for example, you were a teacher in Ghana, but then you came into the UK on the care and health visa, since most people do that, now that you're in the UK, you may decide to go back to teaching. So in that case, you'd have to undertake a teaching course whereby, or so that you will be a qualified teacher within the UK. So that is one option that would be available. And second of all, I've realized that most of our clients, when they come to us for advice regarding what options they have available, we tell them that, you know, if you're looking for another job, you shouldn't just limit yourself to where you work. So let's say you work in Reading, you shouldn't just be looking for companies that can sponsor you within Reading. I mean, there's so many other places. So if you look at the gov.uk website, you'll see so many companies all over the place in England and Wales which offer sponsorship. So do not limit yourself when you're looking for another job. And then, if, like, for example, you were a doctor in Ghana, you came here on the health and care route, you can try and be a qualified doctor here in the UK as well. So in that case, you'd have to sit a test, a PLAB test, so that you are a qualified doctor in the UK and so that you can practice actually as a doctor in the UK. You can even switch to a religious worker route. I mean, there are just so many options available. And Lawyer Eunice also mentioned the innovative founder route, which specifically is for those who want to self self sponsorship. So in that case, that route is mainly for people who are business minded, and as part of that, you'd have to prove that you have an innovative business idea. So the business has to be innovative. So it has to be something new, which is completely different from companies that exist already on the market. You need to show that you have a business plan, so you have to make sure that you are able to show that you have a plan in place and that you really want the business to develop. You also have to show that you would be able to scale up when it comes to the business. And then in terms of actually doing the application for sales sponsorship, you'd have to be in contact with an endorsing company. So there are about four, and yeah, the application is about £1,000, and the endorsing company will look at whether your business idea is innovative, etc. And lastly, just to finish off, your dependents can also switch with you. So let's say you want to now be go into self sponsorship. Your your partner, for example, can switch with you, but as part of that, you would just have to prove that you are still in a genuine and subsisting relationship with your partner, which means that you have to show that you are, for example, married to them, which you can do by simply providing your marriage certificate. But then you'd also have to show that the marriage or the relationship is still subsisting, which means that it's continuing. So the Home Office normally would expect husband and wife to live together, and in that case, you'd provide any correspondence, official correspondence that you have received, such as bank statements, utility bills, GP letters, just any type of letters that link you and your partner to the same address. So yeah, there are so many options available to people who are currently in the UK under the health and care visa route and who want to switch. So that's just a quick summary for today. I hope this helps. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this summary. For those of you who didn't understand our local language, when you tune in, at least if you don't want to even listen from the beginning, tune in, getting to the end of the program, you can listen to the English version of it. Until you better not see ye for that. Still, I want Crawford one so, and I'm Crawford so sending me voice notes, but yeah, we have to be on time, stay on time, and then work within the time. But senior yeah, no me ho 2 or 3 people mobile na my mom will be some question no. Lawyer Eunice be mama mwaye, but mbia na me many man sam baby no. Until then next week no, ya besa Asia na yeshia bibia be repeat it program no. It might be a different question though, but based on this particular headings no, na ya bie mu. There are so many questions ya piling it up and kebebisa it might answer your question oh fear no. And you know, just stay focused, share the program now. Continue listening to Lawyer Eunice. 2-3 questions be now or answer na for the or the last note na go so na ya sorry ako. Enti no wa manu so mpacho obetumi afa. Wo betumi akasa sorry.
wakɔ report me ama home office for ama sending message. So mama up to next month 14. My mom reason why you buy na yentimbu. And some be freeze my account. Now but my go back to my country. She says mama bata me hu de me.
Man, take first part of the question. No?
Is it my part me and buy and the can buy 2023. And I'm job allowances since then, early 2024 to date. Okay, say like you separate no be on fan quine. The bad so last month and I'm home office for sending message. Send me more reason why you buy leading and timbo.
Okay.
And before that, so you buy or no the Kanjamin a week later. And I mean, back on buy the only be. And I mean, here with you just once. And I'm a situation me.
Okay, so in terms of your program, no, we've shared a lot of options. So I think if you need further explanation, just a Uber office. Why? It will be better for you to listen to the program again, or if you need further explanation as to what to do before Omobe cancel Wasitana next month, there, then come to the office and let's do something before Wasitana bill. Why?
But you,
That's in the Pacho, obi fufu line or so.
Morning.
Pacho Kasa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I see. I'm on Mr. War. Yeah, we be wanting to maybe say.
Okay.
We not saying, free Ghana. No, I'm buying. But I'm almost 4 years. February, I'm Bedrian. Beman for Baro, waity baby, no waity baby. Beman, yeah, man. Sing, yeah, man. Yeah, of course, I'm an intimate review. No, and I'm office for not killing say on Yagma and no about anything move on Pankura as well, no about anything move. Basically, someone say, what we get me baby about.
Yeah, very similar to the America share papa. Say only abandoning boom na if you can send for natural say almost mouse at 60 days na. So share quite full fra over to me at the atna chrome her because obviously some bisa for proof say ampa only oba no mun separate ya na say only oba no mu da so wo ho a then na wo de kwa akoma omo so wo dream say e bia oba no twa ntro na wo pese wo defend wo ho a and na wo de documents e che say multiple mu da so ya ware for akoma omo but say enti sa de a this wo hwehwe another route a wo betumi afa so e de atena krom ha nti similar to the America share papa way na wetumi ayɛ mboayɛ aba office na yɛtumi ahwɛ sɛnea yɛbɛtumi aboa wo pakyɛ sɛ yɛ okay
But but me abuan.
yeah ɔmboki appointment na ɔmbra office na yɛntumi mboa no
Okay, yeah, that's why.
yo ndase ne hɔ pakyɛ obi foforɔ wɔ line no so hello
And it's equally ridiculous to try and hang on to the things that have happened to us. You just have to let them go.
okay nti pakyɛ sɛ obi ani line no so di a yɛbɛ close the program no for ende yɛda mo nyinaa ase sɛ ende de mo abɛjoin yɛn ende yɛ topic no na emu oham nti minim sɛ nkurɔfoɔ bebree ebenya bibi efrim yɛka sɛ of course sɛ other skill sets a ɛnyɛ care adwuma no nko ara na wobɛtumi ayɛ sɛ other skill sets na wogye di sɛ wobɛtumi ayɛ adwuma te sɛ midwife nurse anaasɛ other adwuma within the healthcare system a ɛndeɛ na wahwɛ ɛno no na watumi ayɛ qualifications a ɛbɛboa wo ama wo ayɛ saa adwuma no anaa koraa mpo sɛ skilled worker adwuma no ahodoɔ bebree yɛwɔ teachers yɛwɔ minister of religion wɔ hɔ yɛwɔ adwuma bebree nti sɛ wogye di sɛ care work no enye bibi a wopɛ sɛ wobɛyɛ na wobɛtumi ayɛ a few courses update wo ho na wobɛtumi ayɛ other occupations within the skilled work should I say category dia and deɛ na wahwɛ no nso na wetumi update wo ho etumi ayɛ application within the skilled work route ana krampo sɛ woyɛ business minded person wo kita creative ideas nti wo deɛ no wo pɛ sɛ wobɛyɛ adwuma ama obi wankasa wo pɛ sɛ woyɛ wankasa w'adwuma na wode hwɛ wo ho na at least wohwɛ how a wobɛtumi employ other people so wokita that kind of creative mind na wobɛtumi the business idea bar which is not similar to that which is in the market and akrampo say yes similar krampo na wo gye say wo de no ebetum pon sen de ewo ho no na wo de no ama endorsing bodies na omo ehwe nkrofo business ideas ewo krom ha na wetumi aye application no under the self sponsorship route ebia na wo so unhye da any edwuma a wobetumi aswitch to in terms of COS unhye da nso any business idea but wo no we share obi a ebia wo pese wo ne netena nipa ko no either say we British and answer okita indefinite ewo krom ha into based on wo family life with san nipa no wo pese we application no editena krom ha and also sa ewo ho into there are various routes ebia wo pese osua ade wobetumi aswitch to the student route so wo sika nko ade because ekrom ha we international students a wobetua students international students tuition fees into you are looking at over £15,000 so what was that sika no na wobetumi etua sika no nko in terms of tuition fees any maintenance there and they will to me switch to the student routes as well into your share options way in terms of alternatives to the health and care route into say ugidi pan say we nya bibi efrim anase wobetumi ahye ama obi a owo sa situation no mu a na wa share ama nimpa no ye hope say that sende ya besan ehia biom munina mo have a very good weekend your program the community and the law ochina from 4 p.m. some more that's all ha then from 4 p.m. ochina no na mo joining in for the community and the law your mamunina bye bye happy weekend.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Our private client service